guys, today I have with me Mr. Shayak Mazumder. He's the founder of Adya.AI, an ex-Indian Navy officer, and a lot more. Let's get into this conversation and know more about him and his venture. Welcome, Mr. Mazumder.
Hello.
So, to begin with our conversation, can you tell me what is Adya all about?
Adya actually runs two separate platforms, one on AI and one on ONDC and the India stack. So I'll first explain what our AI solutions look like. Fundamentally, at Adya, we believe that AI is as big a change as the internet used to be. So everything that we know about technology, whether that is the underlying infrastructure in terms of servers, data centers, that's changing for AI, whether those are the operating systems like Android, iOS, etc., that's changing, whether those are the middleware like Google, Microsoft, who are creating the platforms, those are becoming fully AI, and the top applications which we are already seeing converting into AI. But we haven't seen the entire gamut of what can happen with AI, because the actual change that will happen is things will happen on the fly. So when I ask for something in runtime, in real time, the system will redesign itself, it will repurpose itself and build everything. So if a business has to adopt technology today or adopt AI today, it has a certain bottleneck. What are those bottlenecks? That's what we are solving. First, the underlying large language models. We all know about OpenAI, Gemini, Llama. These are extremely powerful models. But the problem there is, these models are not necessarily optimal for single domain use cases. Like मुझे retail के लिए बनाना है, or I want to build it for credit, or I want to build it for education. It's not optimal. So we have to build smaller models which are better in performance, but about 9, 10, 20, 50 times cheaper in terms of using it, so that businesses can adopt it. So there's the first problem, and we've solved it. We have solved it in two ways. One, we've launched our own models, which are performing like 20, 25 times better than OpenAI, better than the best models in the world, and yet costing 90% cheaper. And now we are launching those models which will work in your phone or work in your browser using the existing infrastructure. It doesn't need anything new, first. Second, we've created a platform where any business can come, just say what they want, or drag and drop, create any workflow that they want. And the beauty of it is, whether you want to do something in retail or education or some other thing, you can build it, connect to OpenAI, connect to our models or Llama or Gemini or any other model, create any workflow, maybe give that workflow to others to use or keep it for yourself, launch it, get the GPUs, etc. We tied up with NVIDIA, we tied up with Yota and Microsoft and everybody else to provide people with access to the infrastructure, the GPUs, today it's not easy to get. All of this is our first platform. So, summary. Somebody wants to build AI for their business. It's expensive, time consuming and difficult. We've solved that. Now we brought the cost down by 10, 20, maybe 50 times. At the same time, enabling them to do it in an hour what would take them a year to do. The second platform which we've launched is called Atma. Atma Nirbhar Technology Marketplace by Adya. And what Atma does is very interesting. We all know what ONDC is. ONDC is a protocol. So like the internet, where there are browsers and there are websites, all browsers are connected to all websites using the internet protocol. ONDC has buyer apps and seller apps. All of them are connected. Now, 16,000 companies are trying to create these buyer apps or seller apps in retail, education, insurance, credit, investment, mobility, logistics, various domains. Only 111 have gone live. Why? Because it is very difficult to build these applications. 18 months, lots of headache, doesn't go live. What we did in Atma is, you come, choose which app you want, select which cloud you want it on, launch it in an hour, customize it for yourself, and in one day go live. No 18-month development, no problem, just go live and do what you want. And some very interesting use cases are coming out of it. So these are the two platforms. One, where we help businesses create any AI they want, chutki mein, with the underlying LLM and the GPUs and everything. Second, where we help them build the applications on ONDC.
So, the technology part that you have just explained is really amazing and is something really new in our country. It is reducing time as well as money and efficiency also. So how do you ensure that, when you are making things so simple for common people, how do you ensure that, ethics policies are taken care of?
Okay, so fundamentally, all these things that we build fall within the governance and the policies and the laws of India. So, for example, ethics can be many different things. Just to give you an understanding, ethics could mean the social ethics that we follow, or the legal ethics that we have to follow, or data privacy laws, DPDP laws,
Sure.
etc. Now, the legal part is easier done. We ensure that the data is anonymized, no data is scraped from the web, etc. On the other hand, when it comes to social ethics, it's a far more difficult thing to do. There are certain things which might be acceptable to you but not to me.
Okay.
So in that case, we need to have ethical guardrails which are put on top of these models, so that businesses can set the level to which they want the ethical guardrail to work. Now today, when you look at some of the models that are coming out of the US, they will put the ethical guardrail to the extent that it is not even generating a real response, because you put so deep ethics into it. Okay, now the third part of it is, ethics also goes to the point where will people lose jobs over it, right? How do you empower people instead of disenfranchising them? लोगों का नौकरी मत ले लो, उनको empower करो ताकि they can do better with AI. These things have to go as first principles into building whatever you're building. So we think about it very deeply before we start any project.
So, it has become a very tech-heavy conversation. To make it a little simpler for my audience,
Sure.
Can you give me a few examples of the brands that you're working with?
Sure. There is a brand, उनको क्या करना था कि they wanted to, they have 10,000 franchisees all over India.
Right.
Now these are people who, do small things, services for the local villagers, etc. We are building for Bharat.
Right.
Now, they wanted these franchisees to become logistics pickup centers, courier centers for everybody. So we built out a logistics application on ONDC, gave it to them. Now, every one of those 10,000 centers are becoming pickup centers, where all they do is they go on the protocol, search for shipping from A to B. उनको अलग-अलग quote आता है from all the shipping partners. There are 25 shipping partners on ONDC. सबका quote आता है, real time auction हो जाता है. वो अपना margin लगाते हैं and then they give it. It's a very good use case where it is creating value, क्योंकि ऐसा villages में pickup नहीं होता है, local shipping नहीं होता है. At the same time, it is also creating revenue for these franchisees. I'll give you another good example. There's this company जिनके लिए हमने एक education and jobs application बनाया. Blue collar, grey collar jobs. It's very difficult to expose them on any platform like Naukri वगैरह platform पे. You will not find that I am hunting for a bike rider or I am hunting for a paper boy or bagman. Those jobs are local, hyper local, word of mouth, or some agencies hire them. Can we make it so simple कि आप सिर्फ बोलो मुझे ये जॉब चाहिए, वो जॉब क्रिएट हो जाता है, it launches on the protocol, और प्रोटोकॉल पे मानो there are 20 applications, सब जगह पे लोगों को दिखता है, वो बंदा आता है, बोलता है मैं ना सर 8th पास हूँ, मुझे ये करना आता है, मुझे इसके लिए अप्लाई करना, बस बोलो, और वो एप्लीकेशन हो गया. Works, we created that.
That's great.
So those are the kind of loans में किया हम लोगों ने. आपको लोन चाहिए, majority of the small businesses can't get a loan. You know why? उनका ना proper credit data नहीं होता है, business data नहीं होता है. अभी क्या हो सकता है, एक बंदा आके बोल सकता है, एक छोटा किराना, they are running a small business, they can come and say, I am giving access to my information to anybody, but I want 10 lakh rupees in loan. Sachet loan, not a big amount. They shouldn't have to run behind the bank for 10 lakh. 5 minutes they can get a loan. 5 minutes they'll get a loan. So many people are getting loans through that application. So these are the kind of solutions for Bharat that we are building.
So, your ventures are really exciting, but I would really like to highlight this to my audiences that your personal journey has been equally exciting. You come from Indian Navy. So, can you take me through from Indian Navy to entrepreneurship and, a techie? How did this happen?
Yeah, so I was applying for IIT and ND at the same time, got in, and then I decided to go for the National Defense Academy, joined the Navy, served for many years. I became, a nuclear biological chemical warfare specialist, a helicopter operator, etc. So I did all that fun stuff. I was posted all over India, and then I left the Navy. I started my own, small business by the beach in Goa, where I used to run hotels and restaurants, and they became very popular. We climbed to rank number 8 in no time in Goa. And after some time, I felt like, I want to do something else with my life. So I gave a GMAT exam just out of the blue. I had not prepared. I tried. I gave it. I got a 750, 98 percentile score. So then I realized that I could possibly get into some of the good business schools because I've got a good score by luck. So I tried applying. I got into some of the best business schools in the world. So I went to INSEAD.
Okay.
So here's someone who never went to college. I got a degree from the Navy, but I never went to college because I was in the NBA. And then from there, from INSEAD, I passed out. It was such a life-changing experience. My group had one Lebanese, one Indonesian, one Hungarian, and one German, and I was the fifth person. So there were 90 nationalities in my class. So huge learning experience, melting pot, learned everything. But after that, 150 companies rejected me. Nobody gave me a job.
Okay.
So then I got a job at the Rocket Internet Group as one of the global managing directors. I was looking after LATAM, Africa, South Asia, and China. I set up the business. It grew massively.
Okay.
So then I thought, I'll start something of my own. I went to Singapore. I started a company, which I later expanded to US. In the middle of COVID, when US wasn't accepting people, I got to Mexico, and from Mexico I entered US, Los Angeles, set up a business there, raised funding in the US, grew the business, and then in early 2023 I exited that business and I came back to India. And when I was back in India, I was thinking what to do. Adya came up as an organic opportunity. Some of the banks started calling me and saying, we want to do this, and so I built a company and I started.
That's really great. You are, an example of, like we can do anything at any age. It's just the passion that we need, and that is what an entrepreneur should have, the basic quality. So as an entrepreneur, what will be, your advice to the aspiring entrepreneurs who sometimes give up due to different challenges? What will be your advice to them?
I mean, giving up is not necessarily a bad thing, provided you're on a journey where, it's not going to end up in success. You should give up, but there's a first principles way to think about it. The first principles way is it impacting your mental or your physical health? Is it something which has, not in your opinion, but in the industry's opinion, a good scope to grow, scale, and understand the type of business that you want to run as an entrepreneur? There's a lifestyle business, which is like something I do, which is going to earn me enough money to run my own life. There is a build to sell business. Many of the startups are built to sell, where I create a business which I will scale rapidly, raise funding, and then sell it. But it won't scale. I will basically raise a lot of money and sell it. There's another type of business which is the rarest of one, which is built to scale. So some of the businesses that we see surviving, Infosys, Wipro, Reliance, Adani, these are all built to scale businesses. Jitne bade hote, utne bade hote jate, because they have value in them, which helps them grow. So as an entrepreneur, look after your health, look after your family, look after your employees, and think always from a first principles point of view, whether what you're doing is going to add value to people and whether you can get people to pay for it.
All right, Mr. Mazumder, it was really nice talking to you, and your journey is really motivating. I hope that it helps my audiences.
Thank you very much. I wish everybody good luck.